And welcome back everyone to another fighting game Let's Play hosted by yours truly, Mystery Spinoza X. And many of you guys are wondering from the look of the title, many of you guys are saying, wait, didn't you already do a playthrough of Street Fighter Alpha 2? Well, actually, yes, I did, but this is a very interesting version because this version is the Super Nintendo version. I am not kidding you, yes. They made Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the Super Nintendo. And what's crazy is that this is the only Alpha game that was released on the Super Nintendo and everything. Of course, this game came out in 1996. Around that time, the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation 1 had already came out. We were still waiting on the Nintendo 64 to come out and everything like that. So this was pretty much like one of the last few games that came out for the Super Nintendo and stuff. You know, kind of like they're trying to still have the Super Nintendo relevant and everything. Try to like push their sales until they move on to the Nintendo 64 and everything like that. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. And if you guys see my playthrough of the 30th Anniversary Collection version of Alpha 2, would know my story that this is my first experience playing any Alpha game. Like my first Alpha game I've ever played, and stuff. And I've hated it for the longest of time, of course, until I came across a arcade cabinet of Alpha 2, and then I began to love it and everything like that. But there is also there's one major problem with this game, and you're about to see right now. Yeah. Ooh boy, yes, loading time on the Super Nintendo game. That is something you would not imagine, you know, when it comes to, you know, any type of 16-bit console, is loading times. Honestly, like when I first played the game and that thing just like took long, I'm like, did my game freeze or something? Like the longest time I got reset it. And I was like, why is it still doing that? Like, I thought it was the cartridge itself. So I'm just like, what's going on? So, like, okay, I let it sit there and everything like that. And then eventually goes to the fight and everything like that. I'm just like, wow, they really did that. Like, they really, you know, limited Alpha 2. And I could understand, you know, it's a Super Nintendo version. There's bound to be limitations. And maybe you guys are wondering, what are those limitations? Well, just look. It's runs super slow. And even the supers come out super slow. You look at that. The Shinku came out like freaking flying all slow and stuff. It's not a great version of Alpha 2. Oh, and also there's like this really fun glitch after you beat your opponent and everything like that. You could literally just like still move even though like the KO screen pops up. Like you could still move and everything like that. You know how you like when you're playing your fighting game and then like you know drain your opponent out of the his health bar and his or her health bar and everything like that, and like as soon as it says KO, like everything stops, you're not able to move or anything like that. Well, this one you could still move even though when the KO screen is like popped out and everything like that. And I thought to myself, oh, that's a really funny glitch that they did there. And like I always play with that. Like even every single time I get the chance to like play Alpha 2's Super Nintendo version, I always do that. Even when playing with my brothers or cousins or you know whoever, you know I like I celebrate like that. You know I mess with their heads like that and everything. I remember like there is a way to you know do it longer. Like you know just keep hopping around back and forth. Ooh, I touched my pop filter. Back and forth and everything like that. Ooh, that was nice. Even though I missed the Shinku, I got him with the ultimate Tatsumaki. That was very nice. But yeah. Like I always just like mess with them like that and everything. And they're like, stop it. Freaking try to smack the controller out of my hand and everything. It's just... it's really fun that they, they did that. It really is. But anyway, here facing off against Sodom, but in this version, his name is Katana, because of due to censorship or something like that, and stuff, which is really weird. I don't get the sense, I don't get why they had to change the name, and stuff. But I do know it's because of some type of censorship or something like that, and yeah, but Saddam is from, Final Fight, and stuff. Again, I'm not going to repeat a lot of the things that I've already said on my other Alpha 2 playthrough. It's just more of like my experience with, and my thoughts about the Super Nintendo version of Alpha 2 and stuff. Like, I would understand why, they released this on the Super Nintendo, trying to get the last few games out, to push sales. But here's the thing, though. Alpha 2 for the Super Nintendo came out in November of 1996. The Nintendo 64 came out in September of that year. But here's another thing, though. The Nintendo 64 never had a Street Fighter game. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't understand why, Capcom didn't want any Street Fighter games for Nintendo 64 because, man, that controller, that controller and the Street Fighter game probably wouldn't go so well. Like, I know there was, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Killer Instinct Gold, that released on the Nintendo 64 and everything like that. Those are all good fighting games and everything like that, but I would mostly prefer for Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Mortal Kombat 4, the PS1 version, and, Killer Instinct Gold, which in the arcades is called Killer Instinct 2. I would prefer that version rather than the Nintendo 64 version and everything like that. So pretty much any other Street Fighter game mostly came out on the Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 and everything like that. So yeah, and which is crazy because this is we didn't get another Street Fighter game on console till the Nintendo Switch. All those other games like Capcom vs SNK 2 on the GameCube or Tatsunoko vs Capcom on the Wii, they're not like, yeah, they're Capcom made games, Ryu's in it and a few other Street Fighter characters. It's not an official Street Fighter game though. So there's my thing right there. Yeah. We didn't get another Street Fighter game on a Nintendo console till the Nintendo Switch. And which is crazy because, the Super Nintendo has always been that designated home console for Street Fighter games and everything like that. If you wanted to play Street Fighter on home, you would get the Super Nintendo version because, all those Street Fighter 2 games that came out on, Super Nintendo, they were the best, versions of Street Fighter. You go from the World Warrior, Hyper Fighting, Turbo, the new Challengers. Those were all great versions of Street Fighter and everything like that. And, of course, when, like, that was able to fit inside of a Super Nintendo cartridge and everything like that. So, they were, when Alpha 2, when everyone heard that, it was going to be on the Super Nintendo, everyone knew that there was bound to be limitations, with animations, character sprites, movements, and everything like that. Getting their specials out, like the Kikoken, the Hadoken, and everything, the Psycho Crusher and everything like that. There was bound to be limitations. So look at that. You see how that freaking Shinku came out super slow. I do not like that at all. I do not like that at all, because usually would come out fast and hard on your opponent and everything like that. So yeah. But anyway, hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode of Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the Super Nintendo. This has been Mr. Spinoza X saying good night, good morning, good day, whatever time you guys are watching this video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Alright everyone, bye.